Today we're going to be learning about ecosystems. An ecosystem is a large area on the Earth's surface that is defined by the types of animals and plants living there. Today we will be looking at 3 different types of ecosystems. The first ecosystem is pretty close to home. It is the ecosystem of a mountain. We are going to look at Mount Timpanogos to find some of the qualities of this type of ecosystem. We zoomed into the U.S. and then into Utah, and now we find ourselves here at the top of Mount Timpanogos. Do you think this picture was taken during the winter time or the summertime? Mount Timpanogos has snow on its mountain, sometimes year-round, so this picture may have been taken any time throughout the year. Let's go on a little tour of Mount Timpanogos to see what it looks like. This makes me a little dizzy. So if you look in the background, you can start to see some little lakes on the east side of the mountain. Then we'll turn and you can see that Mount Timpanogos is a part of the mountain range. The mountains go all the way down to the south. Here comes Utah Lake and Provo and Orem into view. And now we're almost back looking north again. There's more mountains up north in the mountain range. What kind of weather do you think that Mount Timpanogos has? Usually it's pretty snowy, as we can see by clicking on this picture. You see the man standing on the tip of the mountain? It looks pretty cold, but Mount Timpanogos can be great fun for a family hike, or also for skiing. To learn about some other activities, the things that you can do on Mount Timpanogos, you can click this link. You can also find more information on this website about how tall Mount Timpanogos is and the other mountains in its mountain range. Now that we've taken a look at Mount Timpanogos, let's look at another ecosystem. This ecosystem is on the other side of the world in Africa. It is the ecosystem of a desert. This desert is very, very large and very famous. It's called the Sahara Desert. One thing that is very exciting about the Sahara Desert is that it is so big. In fact, did you know that the Sahara Desert is almost twice as large as the entire United States? I took a ruler to try and measure the Sahara Desert. You can see that this is the continent of Africa, and these lines represent the width and the length of the Sahara Desert. The Sahara Desert is almost 3,817 miles wide, and its length is over 1,500 miles long. Do you think that that's big or not? If we zoom in, we can see some more details of the Sahara Desert. In many parts of the Sahara, there are sand dunes covering its face. We can click on this movie to find out some more about the Sahara Desert. It will tell us about its weather and about the animals that live there. What other questions do you have about this type of ecosystem? We can also look at some pictures of the Sahara Desert by clicking on this link. You can see that in this part of the Sahara Desert, there are many sand dunes. I like this picture because you can see this little car. This gives you an idea of how big the sand dunes can be. In the Sahara Desert, it is very hot, much hotter than the ecosystem of a mountain like Mount Timpanogos. Have you ever been to a desert? Let's go ahead and look at one more ecosystem. This ecosystem is a little closer to home. It is called the redwood forest. The redwood forest is in California and is home to some of the biggest trees on the earth. It looks a lot different than the ecosystem of a desert, don't you think? You can see all the trees covering the face of this type of ecosystem. If we zoom in, we can get a better idea of what this ecosystem looks like. You can see that there are tall trees covering the entire face of the forest land. Let's go ahead and take a look at this video that shows us a little better idea of what this forest is like. In this ground view, you can see how big some of the trees are. Very tall and very wide. In fact, some of them are so wide that 5 people can wrap their hands around the trunk and still not reach to touch each other's arms on the other side. This type of ecosystem is an ecosystem filled with lots of greenery on the ground as well. Not just trees grow here, but lots of ferns and vegetation as well. So today we have learned about 3 types of ecosystems: a mountain ecosystem, a desert ecosystem, and now the redwood forest as a forest ecosystem. What other types of ecosystems can you think of? What different characteristics do they have than the ones we've talked about?